Hey guys, welcome to Watched Film Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the second part of a 2023 movie named Teen Wolf, the movie. The movie continues from the time Scott covered Derek's wounds. Malia comes there and Liam asks Scott about their next move. Scott, the alpha, lifts up his head and shows his eyes glowing red. He tells Liam and Hikari to go find Sheriff Stilinski and that they would take Derek to his house. They get to Derek's home to meet Scott's mother, Deaton, Argent and Derek's uncle named Peter over there. Liam and Hikari gets to the sheriff's station. Liam smells fear all over the place and Jackson comes out with Lydia saying that the feeling was from him. Jackson and Lydia show them the dead kitsune and Hikari examines it. They deduce that the tails of the fox were taken and suggest that the Nojitsune is creating the Oni army. The sheriff and his deputies brainstorm their heads about the fire outbreaks. They find themselves separated in a mist and the Oni samurais start attacking them one after the other. A colleague is killed in front of Mason and he runs away. The Oni cuts Mason and he vanishes in front of the sheriff. The sheriff start to regret about he not retiring and fights the Oni. Just as the sheriff is about to be struck, the hellhound catches the sword and tells the sheriff to leave. The hellhound is struck on his shoulder and he screams in pain. Derek is brought home and Peter uses fire to burn out the wolf's bane, causing Derek to pass out. Scott leaves to find Liam at Derek's garage. Peter, Argent and Melissa, who is Scott's mother, leave to find Allison. Eli stops at a gas station to fill the car with petrol. Allison destroys the car with hers, causing Eli to run inside. Allison goes inside and has a fight with Eli. Eli, with a twisted ankle, finds it difficult to fight back and is beaten in the process. Allison shoots an arrow and Scott parries it with his hand, taking the cut in the process. Scott runs with Eli and Allison shoots their tires. They hide behind a car and Scott roars, which brings out the wolf in Eli and causes him to heal. Scott and Eli separate ways so that Scott would cause Allison to follow him instead. The plan works as Eli meets the sheriff on the road and is saved. Liam and Hikari asks Lydia and Jackson to figure out the fire as they would go to find Scott. The sheriff takes Eli to meet his dad and they reunite. Scott is still being chased by Allison through the woods, shooting arrows at him. The car tires of Liam burst and they go out to check. Hikari deduces that it was done by a sword and they are ambushed by the Onis. Liam roars and they start to fight back. The Onis cut both of them, taking them away in the process. Some Onis appear at Derek's house and they all prepare to fight back. Deaton, Derek, and Sheriff are all taken by the Onis and Malia runs to the basement with Eli. Eli's fangs come out and he becomes motivated to fight back. This doesn't last long as the Onis take him too. Malia and Parrish meet Lydia and Jackson at the station. They all investigate the burned site and deduces that the woods that were burnt will turn into mountain ash, a powder that can trap any supernatural being. Malia and Parrish leave to get silver, the weakness of Onis. Malia and Parrish are seen arming themselves and Parrish tells her that she looks hot holding her weapon. Malia smiles and goes to kiss Parrish. Scott tries to talk to Allison but she refuses to listen and keeps attacking. They get to a cliff and Scott uses Allison's dagger, lost with wolf's bane, to stab himself. Allison takes Scott as hostage and Scott asks her to remember her code. She replies saying, "We hunt those who hunt us." Scott tells her that she came up with a new one and Scott starts reciting it, when Allison continues replying, "We protect those who cannot protect themselves." Allison is shocked by this memory and kicks Scott down. The Nojitsune turns into Allison's late mother and tries to taunt her to kill Scott. Scott wakes up and gives Allison a picture of them together. This triggers some memories as she starts to remember. Peter, Melissa, and Argent track Allison to the woods. They explain that Allison had captured Scott and left trails so that they would fall into a trap. The scene shifts to Derek calling his son Eli to wake up. The Nojitsune comes and taunts Eli, cutting his face in the process. Allison burns out the wolf's bane from Scott's system, causing him to roar with his eyes glowing. His roar reaches the Nojitsune's illusion and Eli start to heal with his eyes also glowing. Allison leaves to find her father and Scott also to find his friends. Scott tells Allison to be careful and that he still loves her. Allison smiles and goes to find her father. The Nojitsune throws Eli out of the illusion onto the field. Scott and Eli try to get out of the field when they realize that it had been blocked with mountain ash. The hooded man shoots Jackson and traps Lydia. Jackson recognizes him as their chemistry teacher. The hooded man asks Lydia to bring out her pain to fuel the Nojitsune. He threatens Jackson and she starts to tell why she broke up with Styles. She tells them that she constantly got a vision of Styles dead with her in a car crash. Scott gets on the field with Eli and start to play lacrosse. Scott dribbles but shoots the ball very high. Eli takes the ball and scores instead. Liam hears the lacrosse game and Derek backs the statement. He even says that he can hear his son on the field. Allison meets Peter and he traps her. She tells them that Scott was on the field trying to save everyone and Argent gives Peter a dagger lost with Wolf's bane. A black mist comes and Allison goes in. Scott, Allison, and Eli find themselves in the illusion again. Parrish and Malia come to the mountain ash barrier and we see Parrish transform into the Hellhound. The black hooded man forces Lydia to watch Allison and the others fight for their lives. Scott and Allison fight the ONI one after the other as a team. Jackson tells Lydia to call out to Allison as mountain ash don't work on banshees. She wails Allison's name and the sound causes Allison to remember as the other hostages to have an ear breakdown. The Nojitsune threatens to kill Eli and sends his ONI to attack Melissa, Peter, and Argent. Scott proposes to sacrifice his life for his friends and the Nojitsune agrees. Allison prepares an arrow for Scott as he pleads with her to do it. She shoots 3 arrows into Scott's heart and he falls to the ground. The arrows start to burn up as a foxfire spirit emerges from Scott. The fox spirit gets into Hikari and it is shown that she gave it to Scott while he was fighting the ONI. The Nojitsune come out and Allison shoots an arrow into its head. Jackson also stabs the black hooded man's leg and he groans in pain together with the Nojitsune. Parrish fully transforms into the Hellhound and tears down the mountain ash barrier which paves way for Melissa, Argent, Malia and Peter. They start to shoot the Onis down with silver, killing them in the process. Eli transforms with his father to tear down the ropes and free the others. The sheriff and his deputies are given silver bullets to kill the Onis. The Nojitsune tells Scott that he bit him during their previous encounter and now he is a werewolf. The Nojitsune transforms into a hybrid as a part Nojitsune and part werewolf. Scott transforms and Derek does so, followed by his son. 3 attack and are sent into another illusion separated from each other. The Nojitsune attacks them one by one until they decide to roar to find each other. They find themselves in Ellis Place and bring the Nojitsune into the previous illusion. The Nojitsune throws Eli away and the Hellhound joins them. Derek says his last words to Scott to take care of his son as part of his pack. Derek pushes Scott away and tells the Hellhound to burn the Nojitsune. The Hellhound flames up and the Derek with the Nojitsune burns into ashes. Before Derek dies, his eyes turns red, making him a true alpha and the illusion breaks. Scott and Allison kiss and they walk up to Eli. A funeral is made for Derek as Scott gives a wonderful speech telling Eli that his father was his brother. Eli goes to the hallway and Sheriff Stilinski meets him there. He tells Eli that, just as Styles' car, his father Derek kept on fighting for the people he loved until the day that he couldn't. Sheriff gifts the car to Eli and he starts to ride it on the road. Scott tells Allison that he is happy to have a life with her and Eli and they start to kiss. Eli is now able to transform as he explores his newfound abilities. He stands on a cliff with the sound of his father's voice saying, "Remember who you are." The black hooded man who was the chemistry teacher of Scott and his friends is seen in a police car. The car stops and security men from Icon House, a mental facility, come to take the teacher away. And the movie ends. Like and subscribe for more videos. Comment the movie you want in the comment section and I will see you in the next video.